Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and salam sejahtera. My name is Khairuddin bin Jamaluddin and my title for the research for my PhD journey is Influence of Mental Workload on Muscle Endurance for Air Traffic Controller, a Sector Capacity Configuration. My main supervisor is Associate Professor Dr. Nur Ayuni Cik Zakaria, and my co-supervisor is Dr. Siti Mariam binti Abdul Rahman. Both of them are from Faculty of Mechanical Engineering. My overview for this presentation is introduction, problem statement, research objective, scope and limitation literature review, methodology, preliminary result, and Gantt chart and milestone. So without further ado, this is the introduction, which is what is sector capacity. So sector capacity is a metric that shows how much traffic can be safely handled by an air traffic controller unit. So further in this presentation, we're gonna call it as ATCO. It is usually described based on the maximum number of aircraft that handled per time unit. If the traffic forecast exceeds the capacity, then either another sector should be open or traffic restriction need to be applied. Improper capacity determination can lead to either overload, whereby the traffic cannot be safely accommodated, or underload, which leads to inefficiency. Okay, next is the problem statement. Okay, first problem statement is the sectorization. So basically, sector capacity can be defined in terms of the number of aircraft which may enter a sector within the given time without causing excessive sector controller workload. Next problem statement is threshold measurement. As for ATCO workload, it can be defined by the time needed for executing observed and non-observed tasks. One of the concerns for shift working is fatigue, and in safety critical work demand as in ATCO, optimum alertness and performance are important to ensure a safe, orderly, and expeditious flow of air traffic. And moving on, the third problem statement is workload rating. Workload was found to be a factor that increased fatigue, which then resulted in a change in performance. Hence, the determination of sector capacity is important to ensure an optimum ATCO workload. Going on next on literature review is sectorization. Starting on 1st September 2021, Malaysia's airspace is being restructured from 7 sectors to 14 sectors. Because of the current traffic, these sectors have been combined into 5 sectors to ensure an optimum level of task demand. The review also mentioned the sector complexity contributes the task complexity and in the end the ATCO workload, as in the visual process flow shows. So input is the airspace geometry, traffic and traffic demand, and goes into and causes a complexity, and then the consequence is the task complexity, and the workload goes to the air traffic controller themselves. Next is the airspace capacity. Airspace capacity is not unlimited, but it can be optimized depending on many factors such as airspace design and flexibility, global events, separation standards, weather, capability of personnel and control, and simulation infrastructure. As per this Ishikawa diagram, we can identify that the main subject for this research is traffic complexity, airspace design, and the air traffic management factor is the influence factor for airspace capacity. And moving on into workload measure. Workload is characterized as the number of undertaking and commitments that you need to perform or finish within a measure of time. In EDCO perspective, if the workload is too high for too long, they might be overstretched. If it's too low for too long, this not only constitute an inefficient application of resources, but is likely to increase the chances of a controller becoming distracted from their primary task. Therefore, EDCO's workload must be accurately assessed. To permit optimum efficiency, one way to subjectively measure workload is to measure the level of fatigue. So next, we're going to go to the scope and limitation. First, this research is only going to measure heart rate, blood pressure, and muscle fatigue. In this research as well, we do not consider scope of ergonomics of the EDCO. And we are focusing on the airspace of Kuala Lumpur Flight Information Region. Okay, now we go to literature review. The first review is on air traffic control in Malaysia. The air traffic management (ATM) sector is the largest sector in the Department of Civil Aviation Malaysia. The ATM sector is administered on two levels, headquarters and operation. The headquarters is located in Putrajaya, while operations are located at various stations from Peninsular to East Malaysia. The Malaysian airspace is divided into Kuala Lumpur and Kota Kinabalu flight information regions. Next on the literature review is sectorization. From the review, we have found that starting on 1st September 2021, Malaysia's airspace is being restructured from 7 sectors to 14 sectors. Because of the current traffic, these sectors have been combined into 5 sectors to ensure an optimum level of task demand. The sector complexity contributes to the task complexity and in the end the EDCO workload. In this we can see that this is the input, which is airspace geometry and traffic demand, and will go into the complexity, and the consequence is the task complexity, and the workload is going to the air traffic control itself. And now we come to the methodology section. In the process flow below, we can see there's two main sector, which is sector complexity configuration, which gonna go into work package 1, which is measure air traffic and airspace complexity, identification of airspace complexity, identification of traffic complexity, measure airspace complexity based on sector, measure traffic complexity based on sector. And moving on for the next project is work package 2, identify secondary threshold to support air traffic management. Recruit multidisciplinary expertise. Next is research methodology trial run. Research ethics proposal and defense. Next is data collection. And then we go to data analysis and findings. And last is threshold method for official document. And next is the rating for sector capacity configuration. Preliminary result for research objective 1 is data of flight can be retracted in Flight Radar 24 website. And flight data can be downloaded for the analysis to be made. Preliminary result for research objective 2. Current sector is divided as per sector 1 Perlis, Kedah, Pulau Pinang, Perak, sector 2 Kelantan, Terengganu, sector 3 Pahang, sector 4 Kuala Lumpur, Melaka and Johor. Preliminary result for research objective 3 is we have done the heart rate measurement on ADCO. Testing was conducted by measuring heart rate of the ADCO for 1 hour 35 minutes and 20 seconds. For the progress of this research, it can be seen in the Gantt chart and milestone. As you may know, literature review is continuous up to the end of the research. For the gathering airspace and traffic data as the secondary data from experiment, we have done the heart rate and blood pressure measurement from the air traffic controller themselves, and hopefully the next test is gonna be to measure the muscle fatigue of the air traffic controller. My main task for quarter 1 is to get the preliminary measurement on the air traffic controller. So hopefully by quarter 2 2023 I'm gonna go for the gathering of the data once we have the methodology right. Okay, as for the publication, no publication has been made yet, as current task is focusing for defense research proposal. So hopefully my target is to publish in the next semester. That's all from me. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.